Hi everyone, it is the start of a new mini series today, which is really exciting, and we're back in World of Flowers by Johanna Basford. I know you enjoyed the 30 days of flowers, so I thought now we finished our Ivy mini series we'd pop back into this book, and I have chosen this page. Now this page, I was trying to think of what to call this series of videos. I did think pencil flowers, it's a little bit strange, so we're going to call it Floral Pencils. That sounds better. And my plan is to, I'm not sure whether I'm going to do one or two per video. Once we've done this one I will see how long it lasts and then make a decision. And what I'm going to do is each flower or group of flowers, so I think I'll probably do 2 red, 2 orange, 2 yellow, 2 green, 2 blue, 2 purple, 2 violet and 2 pink, and I think that will work. Now we could do a rainbow, so 2 red, orange, yellow, green, blue, but I decided not to do that. I'm actually going to mix it up a little bit. I've seen a lot of people do rainbows and it looks really good, and if you want to do that then absolutely do, but I just wanted to do it a little bit differently. I don't want to copy something else. So I am going to start with this first one, and it's going to be red. Okay, so we'll get going. And what I'm going to do is all the stems are going to be green, and the flower and the pencil will match in their colour. I'm using my Arteza Experts. I was using these at the weekend, and I thought it was about time I started using them in a few more videos. So I'm just going to sharpen my first one. Now I've got the 72 set of Arteza. I'm not sure if there's a smaller set of Experts. There's probably a 48, but I know a lot of people have the 120. And I'm going to start with the Garnet Red. Actually, I'm going to zoom into a little bit. I don't know how far up. And we're going to do the pencil first, but that's as far as I can go without losing the bottom of the pencil. So I can't zoom in really close. And I'm going to show you how I do the pencil. It's going to be the same method, although we have slightly different pencils, so we may do them slightly differently, I guess. So I always start with a hard, solid line along the edge. I have done pencil tutorial videos for you before actually. And then a bit less here. So you see I'm doing more of a round and round stroke and a lighter stroke. I don't want a really definite line ending here, so I'm just trying to gently fade it as we go towards the middle, and then a little more, and then we'll grab our next red. My aim is to possibly, if I can, use different shades of red for each, so I might have 2 red flowers, but they won't be identical. So I'm going to move on to, do you want this one? No. Sorry, I'm being very indecisive. My Arteza Experts I haven't had for that long, so I'm still sort of getting used to them a little bit. So this is the Carmine Red, and so I'm going to use this for the next bit. So I'm not going to take it all the way to the edge because I do want this defined dark layer. If that doesn't show up in a minute, we can add some more anyway. Sorry, I'm flitting about. I want to do a layer here and then fade it towards the centre. I don't want a white line in the middle. I do want some red, but I just want it to be a little bit lighter, and then hopefully it will look like the pencil is catching the light in the middle. But for me that isn't dark enough, so I'm actually going to go over all of the red. I've just moved my head to a different angle and I can see what's going on a bit better. The light was shining off the pencil. This is the problem with pencils, is they do catch the light and shine a little bit, and makes it hard to see sometimes, but there, I found the right angle now. So I hope everyone's well. I hope yeah, I hope you're all getting lots of colouring done, or just generally chilling, relaxing hobbies, even if they aren't colouring. So I'm happy with that amount of red for that one, but I am going to go back to my Garnet Red and just re-emphasise those edges. And what I'm going to do is actually try and go over this black line a little bit on the edge. There's a YouTuber, well, a colourist who has a YouTube channel called Colour Bright Bex, and she always puts a bit of fine liner pen over the top of the black line to sort of colour it. So here she would put this sort of red colour rather than going over in pencil, which I'm doing. She's doing pen, and obviously that shows up a little bit more than pencil, so that's quite interesting. And that's her little technique, I guess, and she does beautifully bright and cheerful pictures, so you know, check her out on YouTube, she's fantastic. So those two reds, I'm just going to get my brush because it's gone very bitty. I'm happy with that. Obviously I need to do this top bit, but those two reds are what I'm going to use also for the flower at the top. But we do need to do this wood bit or else I'm going to forget. Now in our set of Artezas, there isn't really a light brown that isn't orangey. I'll just show you what I've got here and how I'm trying to make my decision, because sometimes I know it's quite helpful. So we've got these three browns, and they're sort of cocoa chocolate espresso browns, so really dark. And then we've got this siennas and that's very reddish, but this cinnamon is quite reddish, and then the burnt ochre is very yellowy. So you don't really have, if we look at that brown on the pencil, we don't really have one that's going to be that colour. So I'll show you what I'm going to do. Sorry, it's putting them back. So I'm going to use the one that is the very nearest that I can find, which is the burnt ochre, but it's still a bit yellowy. And I'm going to use it really lightly to start with, like that. Okay, and then I'm actually going to get one of the really dark browns. This is the dark chocolate brown, and go over the top, but again so lightly, as if you're just gently massaging the paper with your pencil, really lightly, like that. Now that is plenty dark enough for me, but we want to add just a tad of shape. If you look at the pencil, you can see there's some shadow here. I don't know how well you can see that, because my light is on that side. There's some shadow. So on this pencil, I'll just put a little bit of shadow on each side, and it will help to emphasize that rounded shape which we've done here. I'm just going to sharpen this a little bit. Couldn't find my sharpener then, it's just right next to my hand, but I don't want to press really hard, so I'm just going to go gently down really lightly on each side, and it just needs to be enough to show a little bit of shape without too much colour, and that's that. And what I am going to do is every one of these is going to be the same. I think it should be, the just consistency. So I may do it in my own time and just do them all, but I might not, I don't know. I haven't really decided yet. I'm going to move on to the flower, so we're going to move down a little. Oops, I've got a lot of stuff on my desk. There we go. So we're going to start with this flower at the top. I can zoom in a little, and we'll do the there we go. I can't move across anymore, I've got too much on my desk. And then we'll do the leaves later. I am going to just move something onto the floor, because if you're not in the middle it's a little bit blurred. Let's try again. There we go. Okay, so we're going to use the two reds we used for the pencil which you can't see now. So we're going to use the Garnet Red to start with, and I'm going to do the areas that I think will be darker. Now with a plant like this, the petal that's in front is going to be lighter than the ones behind. These are going to be shaded by this, and because they're set slightly further back, they'll be a little bit darker. So what I'm going to do is just put a really light application of the Garnet Red just to start us off on there and there. And I think that's going to be darker down here at the bottom and along here, yeah, where there'll be the shadow, as I said, like that. There we go. Now I'm thinking about this leaf and whether we need any dark colour. I'm a bit confused by this. I'm going to put a little bit of red in there, I think, like that. And now I'm going to grab my other red and I'm going to do a bit with this, and then we might be able to see if we need any more Garnet Red. So this is the Carmine Red that we were using before. And I'm just going to work on these back petals to start with. Now with florals, I often think they can look quite pretty if you apply white dots and white pen to them. I'm not going to do that on this page, and there's a good reason why. These Arteza Experts I've not tried with white pen on, I don't think. And some pencils, when you put white pen on them, the white doesn't stay white. It changes colour. I had this happen to me just yesterday. I did a pink pastel background on a picture, just the soft pastels, and the pink was taken up by the white pen. My idea was to sort of cover it with white pen splodges. I had this ambitious plan and daring idea, and I covered it with these pink splodges, with these white splodges of Posca pen, and they just took up the pigment from the pink and went pink, and so faded back. So my sort of daring splodgy background just faded away. So in a way I was quite pleased, because it was a bit scary and daring, but on the other hand it wasn't quite what I was looking for. Now you'll see that picture at some point. I don't know when it's going. It was a buddy colour, so I had to wait for my buddy to finish it before I can make it public, because you know, we show each other our pictures first before we put them up on any social media. So just gonna wait. Now I want to keep this quite pale, but I don't want it to look white. Right, sorry, the telephone rang, so I'm just trying to figure out quite where I am with this flower, and I think I was thinking about trying to just blend that red a little bit, and I think what I'm going to use is actually a blending pencil. I'm just choosing. I have a collection of them here. I'm going to use this one. This is my Caran Dash. It's called a full blender. And what I'm going to do is just blend this a little bit, and hopefully it will push it down a little bit into the paper, get rid of some of the white paper, and still leave us with a light coloured top and a slightly darker coloured base. I find sometimes with this one it doesn't always work with all brands of pencil very well. It's not working brilliantly. I'm having to sort of do quite a bit of work with it, but we're getting there. Just taking it out to the tip. There we go. I'm happy with that now. Now we have the stem. Just seeing if I can fit it all in shot. I can't quite. Let's just zoom out a little. There we go. So the stem, I'm not sure whether to do all the stems the same shade of green. I don't think I will. I think that might get a little bit dull. So it might be nice to show you some different combos of green. Now what I want to do is to do a couple of shades, I think, and I'm just trying to work out if I'm going to do a lighter shade on the stem, which I think I will, and in fact I'll start there. I'm going to start with the mint green, which isn't really pale. I'll show you once I have it. It's quite a sort of mid green, and we'll go in. I've got a book under here because this isn't very near the front of the book of World of Flowers. I like to have something to lean on. So I'm going to go through the whole stem with the mint green, and the leaves, everything, all of the area that I want green, with a fairly light layer, just to sort of get us started really, and then we will work from there. Yeah, I was just on the telephone. My mum gave me a quick call. She's got to get off to the dentist later, so she was calling me. It's nice. A little catch up. I'm going to be seeing her at the weekend. It's her birthday coming up, and so we're having a little family get together, which is rather nice. It's we're still seeing less of each other at the moment, but we try and have get-togethers when we can. So that's nice. And got to sort out her present. But anyway, I can't tell you, just in case. I don't know what day this video is going out. She doesn't watch them, but you never know. Let's just not But she used to do a little bit of colouring and had a few books, but she doesn't do it anymore. I want quite a dark colour now. I'm just having a little look at what is available. Yeah, I'm going to use the forest green. It looks a good colour. At the moment we're looking far too pale for my liking, but that's okay. I am going to put more layers down. So here is our forest green, and I'm going to start marking out the areas I want darker. So for this little top bit, I want to put a darker layer around the edge, really, to sort of emphasize that shape, and just blend it a little bit into the middle, and we'll go back in with the other green after. Now what I would really love to do is to put a dark green edge on the whole of this stem, but I think it's too small, so I'm not going to do that. You could do it with a really thin pencil, or as I was saying about the fine liners, you could try just running a fine liner just around along the edge, maybe just slightly to the side of the black line, so you've got a little bit of a darker area, but then it might be hard to sort of blend that in really. So I'm going either side of the sort of vein down the middle. I think it's nice to have that one lighter, as if it's sort of sitting on top of the leaf. There are leaves that are like that, and I think it works quite well. So basically I'm trying to put a nice dark layer here, either side of the vein, and then just blend it out a little bit. Now this is quite a different shade of green to the one we've used, and I'm hoping that that will work well. We will wait and see. So I'm going to do the same with this leaf. It's a really sunny day today here. It was a cold frost this morning. It's a nice crisp morning, and it's really cold apparently out there. I haven't been out. I've been waiting to make. I've been making videos, so I haven't been out. But it looks nice. Yeah, we'll do this one next, and I'll just do a little work on the stem with this colour. But spring flowers are starting to come out, which is nice. And that's why I sort of wanted to do something floral. I'm sort of in the mood for it with spring. I think I said that in my newsletter about spring coming. Now with this stem, underneath this bit I'm going to do a little darker area, just slightly. You may need to resharpen your pencil at this point, a little bit darker here and here, just where that other stem is overlapping. The same here, and all the way down. There we go, and maybe a little bit here, like that. And then back to our mint green to sort of finish off really. So on this circular part of the top, I'm going to sort of go over those darker areas and take that darker colour in towards the centre. I want to leave some lighter, this centre part here, but just to sort of shade it in. And the same with this stem, I want it a lot darker so it stands out. I'm just going to go all the way down with a harder touch. We'll try and blend that darker bit in a little bit, if we can, like that. And go through. There we go. Whoops, it's quite thin. I just went out of the lines really badly, so I'm just going to erase. Whoops, my pencil rolled away. I'm sure we all experienced that. See, these are round pencils, so they roll around a little bit more. That hasn't really erased very well, but I'm not going to worry. I'm going to go back up to and deal with this leaf. So I'm going to take this stem part up like that. Now you could, because of the shape of the leaf, you could colour it darker in this bit where it's slightly folded and a bit lighter on the tip, but I've chosen to put it darker near the stem. There's lots of different ways you can do it, or you can just do it in plain colouring, you know, without worrying too much about shading. But it gives a sort of different look depending on what you decide to do. I found, I don't know if you find this too, that now when I'm out and about and I'm walking, I'm always looking at nature because of colouring nature. So I look at leaves, I look at flowers, I see what they look like. It's really opened my eyes. I don't know if you find it's done the same for you. It's really interesting. I mean, you may already have been very observant. I guess perhaps I wasn't. I think it's quite difficult actually. When I had the young children in tow, you're just keeping an eye on them, not on what else is going on really. But anyway, there we go. Now I'm not really sure how long this video is taken because I was on the phone, so I'm not sure whether to do a second red flower or whether to leave it for another video. Now I'm thinking about that while I'm doing this. I'm going to go back in with my darker forest green and just go back along the edge just to really emphasize that shadow just along the edge of the vein on the leaf on each one. It may not make a huge difference, and you may even want to use a darker colour. You could use a black or a dark brown if you prefer, but I'm just going to persevere with this green. It's got a wobbly lead which isn't really helping me, but I'm going to go for it anyway. There we go. Okay, so let's just zoom out for you so you can see the whole of that flower. Just push it up a little. There we go. So there's that one. I think I might stop there. I think if I do two in a video, I may end up just rushing. So I think it might just be better if I just do one at a time. But what I am going to do, as I said, is to do each of these pencil bits. I'm just going to do that in a minute. As soon as I stop this video, I'm going to do each of those. Although it might look a bit odd when I take a photo of the page, but never mind. I think it's better, or so not going to all look the same. So there is our red rose. I hope that was red tulip, I'm thinking. I'm going to choose another flower to do red. I will do it in different shades of red and green though, so it will be different. And I'll be back tomorrow. So it looks like this will be at least a 16, maybe 17 if we do a background day series for you, which would be rather nice, and they might be slightly shorter, but actually it does mean that I then don't have to rush so much, because sometimes I think it's getting a little bit too long or I'm running out of time. So if they're a little bit shorter it might be better. So anyway, there we go. Thank you so much for watching, and please do subscribe, like, and maybe even share if you like the video. It all helps me, and also helps other people to discover the fun of colouring, which we all know is so beneficial and so much fun. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day and happy colouring.